This episode of Nuff Said is brought to you by Tweaked Audio. To get awesome headphones, go to tweakedaudio.com and use the coupon code Southgate to get 30% off, free shipping, and a lifetime warranty. Or you can get there through the link on our website, southgatemediagroup.com.
Recording has started. Hello and welcome once again to Superconnectivity. I'm your host, Shirley the Professor Esser, and with me as always is the blue-eyed bomber from the burg of Pitts.
Phil, me, and Perich.
There you go. Do that neck thing. It's going to do that weird neck thing.
To 360.
To get your head to... That's how Zemo gets in your head. He does that weird neck tilt.
Oh, that's his dance.
No, not that. I mean, although we did get
an hour.
The full Zemo cut. Yeah, well, hey, good for Brawl the Deacon dance for an hour, man. I guess, hey, if nothing else, Jazzercise is the...
oh, you thought that was one... You think that's one take?
Well, I mean, I think they had him dance for an hour. I think he was just dancing, and they did the whole thing, and...
Zemo dance.
Zemo dance. Everybody's shaking their pants. Yeah, hey, let's talk Falcon Winter Soldier real quick here.
Oh.
Have you seen it yet, episode 4, Philip?
Yes, I did.
And now, of course, me and Maz are going to do the real deep dive later. You know, because it just came out. I've only watched it like 3 times already. So, you know, you got to get to that layers upon layers upon layers. But, yeah, Zemo's still evil. I don't care what you say.
Oh, yeah.
And here's my thing. You can say, oh, but he's stomping the super soldier spoilers. Spoiler podcast. He's stomping the super soldier serum because he doesn't want any more super soldiers. But, you know, the thing you have to get into that is always, why does he not want more super soldiers?
Well, one, he doesn't want to be, he's probably afraid he's going to, you know, go insane. 2, it's like, as long as that's in his blood, people are going to be trying to, like, capture him for his blood.
No, Zemo.
Yeah, Zemo. Yeah, Zemo.
Oh, you think Zemo's a super soldier?
No. I'm saying that's why he doesn't want this. That's why he doesn't want this serum around.
Does you think? Well, but why would they want to capture him for his blood? That's
to replicate more serum.
But Zemo doesn't have the serum.
No, but if you put it in his veins, he would.
But that's true of anyone. And if you could replicate the serum, that's the thing. If you could replicate the serum, you could replicate the serum. Everyone could be super soldiers. And then no one would be a super soldier. Would also all be, like, incredibly healthy. And maybe that would be a good thing. Which is, like, the biggest... Like, why didn't they just give the lady the super soldier serum that was dying of tuberculosis? Like, maybe if I gave her... Like, did they think, oh, but she's so weak and the pain is so great? You know... I don't know. It just seems weird to me that... Like, to me, that would be, like the first thought. That would be my first comic book logic. Hey... This makes me strong and healthy and able to do amazing things.
Well, like...
Maybe it'll help fighting tuberculosis.
But like Zemo said, you know, except for Steve Rogers, that serum doesn't have a great track record.
No, true. But then again, you know, I don't know. I mean, I'm a big believer that everyone is getting more aggressive because they have it. You know, some of these people are going to start dancing, do jazz dancing, because, you know... Makes them more aggressive, like Spider-Man.
Remember, none of these people took any Vita Rays.
Exactly. You need it's right in there, Vita Rays.
Vital.
Well, because what it does, and this has always been my headcanon, is like what the Vita Rays do is they actually turn off the reaction. That lets you go to a point, but then the Vita Rays are like, okay, now we need to calm it down and slow it down.
Bakes it in.
Yeah, bakes it in, you know, because otherwise it's just like yeast. It just keeps on rising and rising and rising. And yes, you get stronger and more powerful, but then you also get a little bit crazy in the head.
Roid rage.
Which, as the great Dr. Stern said, you know, mixing this in could make an abomination. Yeah, so that's the thing. So I do think that Nagel's actual super soldier serum was not as perfect as he liked to think. You know? Especially when you're considering what other people were doing with similar projects already. You know, we've got our Luke Cages, we've got our Jessica Joneses out there, who are clearly well far beyond super soldiers.
Yeah, I mean, it's basic. I mean, this new serum just seems like a basically a more powerful steroid. That's about it.
Well, yeah. Well, no, because I think it does up the reaction time and intellectual skills too. Maybe. See, that's always that was actually the biggest argument about steroids, and that was one of the things that people, like all the guys taking steroids, would say, which is like, look, all the steroids in the world aren't going to make you better at hitting a baseball.
No. But, I mean, no, I thought the big thing with steroids, one, it makes you stronger, but two, it helps you heal quicker. That's why all those athletes like to take it.
Actually, it makes you heal slower.
Oh, really? I thought that was one of the big things is like, oh, you heal quicker or whatever.
Well, no, because actually what it tends to do is it tends to rip your tendons off your bones. Yeah. So that's like, it's like you, because it doesn't actually strengthen any of the material, it just gives you more of it. So there's a lot of problems with most steroids. Like steroids, and what it comes down to is like, if you're trying to like build yourself, there are ways to do it that are, scientific, I guess, where you can, like Lance Armstrong, really get that peak performance from those steroids. But just general, like if you're just a gym rat shooting up steroids in the back of the gym or even popping steroids, it's just, it doesn't necessarily give you the exact even keel, which is really what you're always looking for with that. Which is you want to have that overall growth. And, I think people always forget that the biggest part of what makes you a super soldier isn't the strength. It's the reaction time. It's the ability to see things in other dimensions and directions, to see I can jump here and there. When I throw this, it's going to go off of this and that and the other to get to where I need it to be.
I mean, they had that video in episode 2. I mean, John Walker was already like throwing that shield around.
Yeah. Although I think that throwing the shield and having it sink is where it sinks into the wall. I think that's like, oh, that's how you know that's a super soldier, when it gets stuck in stuff.
Yeah, but he had like the aim before. Now he's, yeah. I mean, again, spoilers. The end. I mean, okay. Do you have to take the whole thing? The whole amount of that serum? Can't you take like half? I was gonna say, why didn't he share half with Lamar?
Well, because I don't think he took it until. I don't think he took it until after he got beat by the Dormelager.
Yeah. But I was just going to say, didn't he take it before they went in that building? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean.
Oh yeah, he definitely didn't take it.
There's a lot of exactly when did he take it is always the question.
Oh yeah, it was after the Dormelager because he couldn't pull that shield out. He couldn't get that shield out from under that spear.
Yeah, so obviously there is this idea that it is yeah. I mean, I would assume he took it at that time expressly because why he took the whole amount was because it's a single dose. So like, I don't even know if you could share it. Yeah,
I don't know because I was gonna say even if it only gave you half the strength, I mean that's still more than you had before.
I don't know. I don't know how it works, and neither does he. So it's like,
say, if you only take,
it's like maybe you don't want to take a half dose because that's gonna.
I was gonna say
do something awful. You don't know what the side effects.
It's messing with people's heads though. It's like at least that way maybe it wouldn't be such an influence on your mind.
Yeah, well, maybe. Although again, like they say, he was already having mind issues at the start of it. You know, because clearly, and that's the thing. And you do get this, and again, of Walker. Just the idea that, he has all of this heroism attached to him, because I think what it is meant to imply that he was a really great strategist.
Yeah.
The idea that he could see all the angles and he knew how to solve the problems, but at the same time, that meant that sometimes he had to do un-Captain America things.
Oh yeah, I mean, he said something to Lamar along the lines of the stuff we had to do over in Afghanistan. So do you think people want to say he has a mental illness and stuff? You think that's PTSD that he's? Oh
yeah, I think it's totally PTSD. I think it haunts him what he had to do.
I mean, he keeps throwing it in like Bucky or Sam's face, like your partner, your partner. You let your partner in there alone. You want your partner's blood on your hands.
Yeah, well, he obviously has a hard time waiting. And what it is he feels like, he clearly feels like getting the shield was his ticket to the show.
Yeah.
But he also feels like it's interesting because it kind of feels, it is a parallel to Steve Rogers.
Oh, yeah.
Where he got to be a super soldier, and instead of letting him fight, they sent him on book tours and sent him to sell war bonds. And that's more of what he's doing. He's not doing the field work. He's not doing the superheroing that he wants to do.
Yeah.
And then he has this problem that obviously there are already these superheroes in the biz that effectively outrank him.
Yeah. And
they don't just give him that respect.
Well, yeah. I mean, no matter what, Steve Rogers always stayed humble. I mean, John Walker thought the minute he put that suit on, he's like, "Oh, don't you see what suit I'm wearing? You should listen to everything I say."
Well, it's one of these ironic things that if he was just John Walker, 3-time Medal of Honor winner, he'd probably get a lot more respect.
Oh, yeah.
Than John Walker, Captain America. So it's that thing that he essentially, made the devil's bargain. He gets to be Captain America, but he also loses all the respect that he'd have gotten as John Walker because he's the guy who thinks he can be Captain America, which, even Zemo kind of goes into. And I'm sorry, Zemo can call anybody a supremacist all day long. He's a baron. He's a supremacist. He thinks he is better than everybody else. He doesn't want people to have superpowers because he doesn't feel anyone else is deserving of superpowers. And he also feels he is best as it is. So it's like, he doesn't need the super soldier serum. He's basically a Doctor Doom kind of character where it's like, yes, I'm already the greatest there is, and no one else should be great except for me.
And don't you tell those bad men anything, and I will give you candy.
Yes. Turkish delights, man.
Until he starts pulling out the money.
Well, and, quite frankly, I think the kids have been like, Turkish delights, really?
Well, that's why when he met that girl...
That's like really nasty candy, dude. Do you have like gummy bears, maybe some chocolate?
Well, that's why when they met that girl...
We're not from the Stone Age, man. What do you think we are? You think this is Narnia? Come on.
Well, that's why the second time when he met that girl, he pulled out money.
Yeah, well, that's good. Yeah, we want the money. The money we want. But, Turkish... And actually, I'm going to say I love Turkish Delight. It's basically just a jellied candy. It's very nice. But I don't like the powdered sugar-covered ones. I like the chocolate-covered ones because powdered sugar is messy and nobody likes powdered sugar. You would like powdered sugar, Tristan. But Tristan likes powdered sugar. I feel it gets everywhere. It's like sand. It is not coarse or rough, but it still gets everywhere, and I don't like that.
5 seconds. Dad, can we have donuts for breakfast?
Well, he likes donuts. But, we don't need a lot of sugar for breakfast, except for cereals. Anyway, but, it brings out the Turkish delights, and, like I said, it's a very hipstery thing that he does to him. Turkish delights. And I don't even think Turkish delights are popular in Turkey at this point.
He's a hipster.
Yeah, they're all like the fancy wrapped. I'm sure it's like high quality Turkish delights. It's good, but I bet you that confectionery store had other things that were also even better. That were likewise bespoke, and you could serve that stuff. But these kids were starving; they needed something. I liked the idea that basically a lot of the resettlement camps were this idea that people came to these countries because they. But as soon as everyone came back, suddenly now they had an overpopulation problem. And these people that were welcomed in suddenly got kind of kicked out. And it's like, well, no, now you have to go back to where you came from. But obviously there was a massive amount of travel for everyone because everyone was going to wherever the work was. And so you can see how the problems basically snowballed.
Yeah.
But as you see... it's one of these situations where, it's somebody else's problem.
Yeah, but then they're like, oh yeah, we have to do this because, we've been waiting for help for 6 months. I'm like, I mean, yeah, I know you're suffering, but 6 months, I'm like, the population of the planet just doubled again. You're just like, oh, 6 months, they haven't gotten to us yet.
Yeah, well, but that's where that super soldier energy comes from, which is why I do wonder if they didn't give John Walker a little something beforehand. because he already seemed very uneasy with sitting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and we see that with Kylie Morgenthau, where she just says, you know, they're not innocents, they're just road bumps in my way. And Sam just looks at her like, did you hear what you just said? It's like, no, you tricked me into saying that. It's like, no, dude, you just said that.
You tricked me into sounding like what?
Sounding like Professor Peterson. Yeah, he's so mad, and all of his little followers are so mad. How dare you say? For those who don't know, there's some Canadian professor by the name of Peterson who apparently writes a lot of anti-trans, anti-feminist, anti-not Western white people screeds about what manhood means.
And then after last week's Captain America by Ta-Nehisi Coates, he thought, hey, why is he making the Red Skull say my thoughts?
Well, except it's like, you know, actually he's not. These are just the thoughts that the Red Skull has been saying for years, and you just are noticing that, you know. Because like I said, man, here's what I'm going to say. In the 1980s, Larry Hama was having Cobra Commander say the exact same things when he was taking over Springfield.
Oh, yes. Somebody on Twitter shared like a panel from Captain America 350. Mark Grunwald wrote the Red Skull saying stuff from, you know, this is 1987, and it's like...
Oh, yeah. This is not new. This is very much who these characters are, you know? And I'm sorry that you sound like the Red Skull. Maybe that should be... you asking a question, why do I sound like the Red Skull, not why are they making the Red Skull sound like me? But you know, and you know, you can't argue with those people because they really don't want to argue. But anyway, but that's a minor blip. Like I said, I don't even think that was intentional. I think Ta-Nehisi did a Google search, like, you know, he just said like, oh, crazy right wing quotes, and just pulled up a list. Says, okay, I'll use that one, and those, and just put them on the computer screen.
Or maybe Mr. or Dr. or Professor Peterson, whoever your name is, maybe you're just not original. Maybe a lot of right wing guys are saying the same things.
Well, he's not. And,
well, that's what I'm saying. How do you know Ta-Nehisi Coates is targeting you? Maybe he just found the same quote from somebody else.
Well, exactly. That's kind of the thing. It's like they all said, not for nothing, they have been saying it since Mein Kampf. It's really, this isn't new stuff. There's a reason they go back to this in the comics because, this is apparently what they say when they say these things. And then, people don't like it.
Ta-Nehisi just turned on Fox News.
Yeah, really, watch it for 5 minutes. Says, yeah, that's enough. So, no, but if you actually read his things, it's like, I don't want to read his things. If he's opening with, you know, trans people are awful and women should shut up, it's like, yeah, you know, maybe I don't want to deal with that. You know, maybe that's not really something that needs my fair intellectual assessment of it, you know? It's, you know, and maybe that makes me the bad person. Okay, I'll be the bad person. Why don't you write a comic book where I'm the bad person? And then everybody's happy. Just make the freedom of speech like Zoidberg does. Okay. But yeah, I mean, it is interesting. We do get our Sharon back in this one.
Oh, the power broker?
She's not the power broker.
Hey, you know what? I have a way we both could be right. Who says that's Sharon? We got Skrulls running around all over the place, kid. That could be a Skrull.
Well, I mean, honestly, the power broker could be a Skrull. Power broker could be Kree. We don't know yet.
Oh,
maybe that's what the secret invasion is.
Maybe instead of Red Skull and a cat body, maybe it's a Skrull looking like Steve Rogers as the power broker.
Yeah, that would be awesome. But you know, the entire concept within the whole idea is just that, you know, here's my thing with, I don't think Sharon is the power broker expressly because she makes the point about the power broker being mad about killing Nagel, and that, you know, a lot of things are going to happen because of this.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, well, okay, is that really her best play if she is the power broker?
Yeah,
and I can see like you know, she's trying to manipulate Sam into this, but I actually think she's just super deep. And like you can split the difference in the idea that, yes, she is super deep cover, and the power broker is part of that super deep cover. So, like, the idea of controlling the chaos of it all is that, Thunderbolt Ross said, I know you're in trouble, but here's the deal, Agent Smith and Jones. I'm going to send you in deep cover. And when you do what I need you to do, that's going to open up the, then I'm going to get you your pardon,
Yeah, but remember, when did Zemo shoot Nagel when Sharon came running in?
Yeah, I think actually there's a bigger argument that Zemo is the power broker.
I don't know. I think that's too... I mean, I'm just waiting for, because a couple people have called the power broker he, but, like, Carrie and her people, they're like, or Carly, whatever her name is, they never, I don't think they ever meant to say he, they just say the power broker. So I'm just waiting for, like, Sharon to be like, why are all these people just assuming the power broker has to be a he?
Yeah, I'm actually a bigger believer. I mean, honestly, if there is a power broker, I am all down for Zola being the power broker.
I know, but
he exists on digital tape. He can still exist.
That would be kind of weird because this is episode 4 already, 4 of 6, and we haven't seen the power broker. I mean, supposedly we haven't seen the power broker yet. Don't you think it's somebody we've already seen on screen?
No, because even when we saw the power broker and he was Curtis Jackson, he was a guy behind the lights.
Yeah, but that's comics. Come on.
Yeah, and even then, I think when they actually get behind the lights, it's actually, it's just a dummy behind the lights. I don't think, and it's entirely possible there's not actually a power broker. That the power broker himself is a myth. That, like Big Brother before him, there may have been a power broker at some point, but at this point, the power broker is just the lie that keeps Lowtown under control for Hightown.
Well, who was it, CBR or somebody? Did you see like their 3 main suspects for the power broker? It was Sharon Carter, Baron Zemo, and their third suspect, Thunderbolt Ross.
Yeah, but see, I don't think that is logical because I just don't think Thunderbolt Ross is that interesting. And here's the thing: that's sort of like the weird. Here's the thing: anybody that's actually connected to the government, they'd have just kept Nagel at the CIA where he was already working.
I mean, unless Ross wanted it off the books for some reason. Because remember, the power broker in the comics, like that strength augmentation, like 50% of them, the subjects got hideously deformed and stuff. Maybe that's what the Flag Smashers are, or like they tested it on them, and they're like, okay,
Well, no, I mean the Flag Smashers stole the Nagel formula, and the Nagel formula clearly works to a point.
Or so they think.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. It's like, I think it increases aggression. I gotta say, I'm so mad that in none of these fights, no one was wielding a mace. I was really waiting for, because it's in like a medieval castle kind of location.
I know.
I was waiting for her to grab a mace and just start beating on people. That would have been such a cool image, but we didn't get it, so. Give the fans what they want. Make Cyborg say booyah.
Hey, we did get that scene from the comics. I mean, John Walker just smashing that guy with the shield.
Yeah. He does not decapitate him, by the way.
Nope.
Because the first time I thought it was like, does he decapitate him? No, he's just beating him in the chest. Ruptures his spleen. You never know. He's a super soldier. I mean, and for what it's worth, that's actually the truth of it, is he is a super soldier. That guy might get through it. Maybe he's got severe, maybe it's like, when he set those guys on fire,
Yeah, but I mean,
they lived, but, they wouldn't want to.
But I mean, one, John Walker has the same strength as him now, and two, he's beating him with, this thing has pretty much a sharp edge, and it's basically an indestructible object. I mean,
it actually doesn't have a sharp edge, because we see that when he hits Zemo with it. It only goes through things like poster board, drywall. It can go through drywall. That's the only thing we really see it stick in. We don't see it. Even when it gets thrown at trees, it chips off the tree, but it doesn't get stuck in the tree.
Yeah, but I mean, that thing's leaving your hand. double fisting this thing, probably smashing it down with all his strength. I mean, you might not have a sharp edge, but you can cut stuff in half with that thing.
Well, yeah, but I think it's mostly just beating him and cracking his bones and things like that.
Beating him with a vibranium shield, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty awful. I'm not saying it's that awful. I'm just saying it doesn't have a sharp edge. That's my point. Is it doesn't have a sharp edge.
So I'm surprised. I mean, the one picked it up, but I'm surprised that Dora Milaje didn't grab that shield and take it with him, because I mean that is vibranium.
Yeah, I was actually surprised that he got it back too. You know,
so I was waiting for him to say, "Wait a minute, that's Captain America's shield." And they're like, "Well, yeah, Captain America was an honorable man. You're not."
Yeah, this is our vibranium. We take it back with us now. You know, this is ours. You move. That
was a gift to the king's friend. You're not his friend.
It was a gift to Howard Stark by the original King T'Chaka, or probably his grandfather, back in the 1940s.
Well, I just had
Young Prince T'Chaka.
I was thinking about it. I had this just a headcanon in my head. It was just like, you know, the Wakandans were ready to take that back from Stark, that vibranium, but then they saw it went to Steve Rogers, and they're like, okay, this guy seems pretty honorable. You know, we can let him keep this.
Yeah, they're working with it. They're making that decision, you know. Although, for what it's worth, man, you know, they let freaking Vision get out of Wakanda, so, you know. After the blip, maybe they were, really lax and all this kind of stuff. Now we're in that post-blip world.
I mean, half the population disappeared. The king disappeared. I mean, things were in chaos there.
Yeah, so there's a lot going on there, so. But anyway, so yeah, I am surprised that she did give it back. Just to be, I'm guessing she was called back to, the black, because he's back now. Probably, yes, I have the shield back now. I'll bring this back to Wakanda. Like, no, give it back to him. We don't need the international incident right now.
Well, that's what I said. The one picked it up, but her leader or whoever, her captain was like, no, leave it. Yeah.
Mm. Well, so that was nice.
But that was my favorite scene where they're just beating on John Walker, and Bucky's just sitting there going, "Oh, looking strong, John."
Yeah, well, actually, no. My favorite scene is when Bucky does get into it, and then they just do the and detach his arm.
Oh, shut that arm off! Yeah, detach it.
And Sam was like, "Did you know they could do that?" He's like, "No, I didn't." Which is also kind of one of those moments of, "Oh, you guys are all still in my head, aren't you?" You know, which is the hard thing about it, is this idea that,
well, no, it has a shut-off switch like Data had on Star Trek, you know?
I know, but it's sort of this idea that, they may have, essentially what it tells Bucky is they could still be in his head. We get that scene at the beginning of him sort of working through it with Io, but at the same time, there's this implication that maybe they're not being as charitable as they look. They're taking care of him, but they also are in no way, they have no illusions about who he is. And so, like all the other spies, they're going to keep him close and closer, you know?
Well, yeah, I was going to say, one, I think they especially these days, they probably put a backdoor into all of their tech where they can shut it down. But two, yeah, I mean, Bucky was innocent, but he was brainwashed in the well, they thought he killed the king for a while, so he been him.
Yeah, well, he got pardoned by the new king,
Yeah.
And that's the thing. And to be fair, he didn't actually kill the king because that was Zemo, which is why they're now after Zemo. And honestly, that Zemo was able to fusion it's just really bad on everybody's form. They just went into the bathroom and locked the door and then went through, because apparently they have a manhole in the bathroom in this place.
I mean, maybe he planned out on purpose,
Yeah, well, obviously, because, it's his house, and he takes them to their place, so he's got his escape routes. He has been controlling and manipulating the situation the whole time. That's why I don't trust Zemo.
Why do you want sewer access right in your bathroom, Mr. Zemo? Oh, the plumbing is bad.
I have reasons. And, but that's also one of the other things they make mention of, about when he would come to this place, as a young boy and these parties, and he makes a statement, of course, I didn't understand the politics at the time, implying that there was some dark and shady politics going on. I mean, given his age, I'm guessing this is sometime in the 90s, which is like at the fall of the Soviet Union. So a lot of kleptocracy is rising, a lot of internecine wars going on, But he just only remembers the parties, which is sort of an interesting way to deflect from the evils that funded his family's fortune.
Well, that was my question. I mean, he's been in jail since Civil War, right? So, like, was the maid still coming in twice a week to clean up? Because, I mean, that place still looked pretty nice.
I mean, for what it's worth, it's a gig, and if he's got it on auto pay,
True.
If the Zemos have it on auto pay, and Zemo's still, he's still around. He didn't blip. So, yeah, we that we know of. But here's what I'll say. It'd be really awful if he blipped out and then blipped back into prison. It's like, oh, man!
Hey, he might have. You never know.
It's like, why? But there'd be like another guy in his cell at the time. It's like, what?
How great would that be? Like, if you're in jail, you blip out and come back in and be like, wait a minute, that 5 years counts on my sentence, right?
No, it doesn't. That's the rules. Doesn't count. That's the rules. But, I mean, that's Falcon Winter Soldier for you. But no, I definitely think Zemo, and of course, next episode, penultimate episode, take a drink.
Yep.
Number 5.
There's only 2 more left, yeah.
That's where we get the thing that's going to make us cry. And we introduce someone that should team up with Thor. That's the Mysteries of 5. This is our Paul Bentley cameo. I got to act with someone that I always wanted to act with. Stories, but
speaking of Thor, the Loki trailer or another trailer dropped this week.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, another thing people are ignoring: who is Sophia? What's her name? Who is this mysterious woman? Is it Lady Loki? Is it somebody else for reasons? I think it's Morgan Le Fay.
Oh, maybe.
Because I think, so let's think here. Who is a female magic user? Oh, yeah, people will say, is it Lady Loki? Is it the Enchantress? But then I'm thinking, okay, well, who's a Marvel character who is both a magic user and really tied to time travel stories?
Oh, yeah.
And you get Morgan Le Fay. And the fact that we see that, like, one of her first appearances is at a Ren Fair.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, oh, yeah, because Morgan Le Fay would hang out at Ren Fairs.
Oh! There was an issue of the original Spider-Woman series. She was at a Ren Fair, and that's when Morgan Le Fay shows up. Yes!
This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be Morgan Le Fay. And that's how they're going to introduce Morgan Le Fay into this story. And it's going to be that cross thing of magic, witches and magic, and a lot of things that are going on in the Marvel Cinematic Universe that sort of builds this all out. So it's interesting. It's interesting if you ask me. And I am excited about it, but I do think that the villain is actually going to be Morgan Le Fay. And I do think the idea is that, we have these variants. And clearly that's sort of the thing, and that's where we're going to get this implication that there are people who are time travelers. Oh, by the way, it's really headcanoning for me now that Trinity Sentry is a lost Kang. Because here's the thing. If you actually look at Kang's origin, the actual show he's watching is a cowboy drama.
Oh, yeah.
Which mostly take place in, like, the late 1800s, maybe into the early 1900s. So it's like, maybe instead of going to ancient Egypt, he would have gone, I want to go back to that turn of the century. Yes, this is when life was good. And I will be the Trinity Century. I will go to the future, and I will make the future just like the past. With my steampunkery. Ha ha.
Maybe he gets partial amnesia or something.
I don't know. Who knows? But that's sort of my headcanon now, that Trinity Sentry is just a lost Kang. And that the Kangs are just like, no, we don't want to find him. You too. Like, you ever have like a story where they like wipe out all the Kangs, and then it's going to be like, but there is another. It's going to be, you must remember, Turner, you too are a Kang.
Boy, if that's the case, Dormammu's a jerk because he resurrected him, and he resurrected him as Turner without it, his memory of being Kang. Man,
yeah, well, but Dormammu's a jerk. Good to know. I'll write that down for future reference. He's evil, but only by our mortal standards.
I've come to bargain.
Yeah, that's because hey, you have all eternity in there.
But yeah, we're gonna have a
If
break.
you put yourself on a time loan.
We're gonna have a break. Last 2 episodes of Falcon and Winter Soldier. Then we gotta wait till June for Loki.
Yeah, Loki, Cruella DeVille.
True, but I mean, no Marvel wise. But they were probably leaving that May open somewhat for Black Widow before they knew.
Yeah, they had a plan, and then the plan ganged on. And they said, "Well, we'll put in Cruella, and maybe that's gonna give Cruella her big bump she needs." Because I'm excited for Cruella. I'm not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like a fun origin story, which also kind of worries me because it actually looks like too fun. Like, this can't be good. It looks way, way, way too fun. So, I don't know. Might not be quite what I'm looking for, but we'll see. We'll see as how it plays out. But, anyway, yeah. Did you watch Invincible yet or no?
No, I didn't get a chance yet.
Okay. It's cool. Give it a watch. You want to talk our last comic books?
Sure.
I got 3 left to talk about. Well, yeah, because we already talked about Venom, and we didn't talk Amazing Spider-Man, so we can talk that too. But
whoa, hello. We seem to have lost Charlie Esther. Hopefully, we can get him back. Because I really want to talk Immortal Hulk. Maybe some Avengers, like you were saying, Amazing Spider-Man, King in Black, perhaps. There he is. Did he hit the button?
He hit some kind of button. I don't even know what button I hit. I didn't care what these things. So I want to talk Star Wars High Republic. Man, it's weird sometimes because you get back to a book and you realize that, what had been happening really didn't impress on me. So I forget where we're at. But yeah, so, but we do have the idea that obviously the Jedi Master only allowed himself to be infected by the crazy Sarlacc pit monster force dark side thing so he could figure out how to defeat it. Which they do, but he still is like kind of still a part of that dark side stuff, so that's going to come back to haunt us. But here's the big selling point of the whole thing is that in the end, the consortium of the Hutts arrive.
Oh, jeez.
And I just love the fact that we've got the Hutts with like body armor to give them big long arms now. So to me, that was worth the price of admission. The rejoice, wretched creatures! Your planet is now the property of the glorious Hutt cartel. Worth the price of admission. We love Hutts.
I wonder if they're going to start introducing them because, they could have a Hutt back without, bringing back Jabba.
Yeah, well, I mean, we already have some Hutts in this. I mean, the Hutts are clearly the other organizing force during the Republic. There's the Hutts who have this massive empire. Mm-hmm. Which they imply is criminal, but I don't know. I don't know what makes it criminal if there's no law. I guess maybe they're just, but they obviously utilize stuff where they're working with people and, paying them for their things and then selling those things for more money. There may be colonizers, but I don't know if they're criminals in this. Although I guess you could argue that colonizers are criminals too. But yeah, yay Hutts! So that's good.
Here's Shuri going, okay, colonizer.
Yes, well,
Oh, Immortal Hulk?
Immortal Hulk, yes. I like this. Although I gotta say, it lives in that last page, like so many good books do. When we meet... not last page. Actually, it's a few pages before that. Man, wait, where is that page? Oh, where we meet Walter. That Walter's now in Samson's in Walter's body, and Walter's in Samson's body.
Yep.
But no one seems to be. It's like Walter's looking for his body, but so I guess that's the interest. Samson's looking for his body, but Walter already got into Samson's body, and there's even a thing about like I don't know how Walter deals with being this creature, and it's like, well, now he doesn't have to.
Exactly. I mean, I find that interesting. It's like Samson. The whole time he's had his gamma power. Basically, he's always had this nice, pretty body. Now all of a sudden maybe he's going to be more sympathetic to the Hulk. It's like, this is what it's like to be, a beastly gamma creature.
Oh, and by the way, how stupid was it to bombard the Hulk skeleton with cosmic rays?
I know.
It's like, well, this is anti-gamma, right? So it's like, well, yes, it's anti-gamma, but it still gives you superpowers.
Again, UFOs never good at their job.
Well, this is the Johnny Storm of the UFOs.
Oh, true. Yes.
So he's by definition not supposed to be good at his job.
And I mean, they've basically, because that's Joe, right? So it's basically
this is Joe. It's now Red Hulk Joe.
I mean, he goes the Incredible. I'm Sunshine Joe Fixes the Incredible Hulk, but no, this is Cosmic Joe.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing where he says he's Sunshine Joe Fix-It. It's
that last page.
He's the Joe, because the cosmic rays come from the sun, and he's got the red veins, yeah. So, yeah, Joe Fix-It's back, and Joe Fix-It will be the dominant Hulk persona for the rest of this run. We hope. That is everyone's favorite Hulk, I think. Because Joe Fix-It is pretty awesome.
And Charlie Esser's favorite beer, St. Peter David.
Yes, St. Peter David beard. Yeah. And then we get. See, I do not like the. I do not like the red.
Red Harpy or whatever.
Red Harpy. Yeah. First off, I really would rather get some Marlowe. Get some Marlowe back.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess Rick Jones is dead. So, but what's Marlowe doing in all this time?
Oh, but that's the other thing with Rick Jones. He's sharing who's that in Rick Jones's body with him? Or
I think that's supposed to be the son who died of gamma poisoning at the start of it.
Oh yeah, because they said it was younger than Rick. It's somebody younger than Rick Jones.
Yeah. So there's like this younger soul that basically that soul got put into Rick's body along with Rick's soul because it was like the leader first occupied that body and then jumped to Rick's body and then then the wackiness ensued. So it's interesting. What do you think of the Avengers this week?
Boy, they really dragged that out, huh? And it's like, hey, guess who the new Phoenix is? Echo.
Yeah, but it definitely seems a bit anticlimactic. I'm not gonna lie, and I had thought she was some kind of Asian, but apparently she's Native American.
Yeah.
So that's new, but that's cool. I like that her Phoenix takes the form of a bunch of little Phoenix doves. That's kind of cool. It shows that it's a kindler, gentler Phoenix.
But it's like, how many issues did we do? And it's like, okay, so all these fights meant nothing because at the end of the day, the Phoenix just said, I'll pick you.
Well, what it is, it's the person who... Well, and the idea is that it's the person who dies and is reborn.
Yes.
That it was never about winning. It was actually about being willing to... or being able to fight back from death.
Mm-hmm.
That's the idea. It wasn't about who is the strongest. The Phoenix doesn't need the strongest person. They need someone who, when they are dead, can come back because that's what the Phoenix does. That's their shtick. So yeah. So that's the idea. Echo's cool. She totally. Do you kind of get the impression? Because I guess some people are getting the impression from this that like this kind of deposes Namor at the end of this. That his crew is like, yeah, sorry, boss, we don't work for you no more.
Maybe, I don't know, because I mean, I just love the ego on Namor. It's like, I've been a Phoenix before, haha, but then he gets smacked around, yeah.
Yeah, well, because she's fighting smart, not hard,
Well, I think
and you even see that she sends little Phoenixes to be with Starbrand Baby. Oh, yeah. Starbrand Baby, they'll make your dreams come true. Literally.
And Thor feeling abandonment issues.
No, but you said you were my mommy. It's like, you didn't believe that she was your mommy, and then now you're going to say it's your mommy. I don't know, Thor. Pick a lane, dude.
I think he thought about it for 2 seconds, and he's like, oh, yes, that Odin was spreading his seed all over the cosmos. It's possible.
Well, the idea, like I said, and that's my idea for this, is that really, yes, Phoenix is his mother, but Gaia is his mother because Phoenix and Gaia are the same god.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, Phoenix is an elder god, Gaia is an elder goddess. Yeah, Phoenix is an elder goddess, Gaia is an elder goddess. or God, if you want to just use a gender neutral version, I guess, maybe, if God is gender neutral. But yeah, that they are the same being, but like different aspects of it, because, you know, gods are like that. Well, they'll have different aspects of themselves. You know, so anyway, so that's cool. So yes, we have a new Phoenix. I don't think that's ever going to come up much again, quite frankly. I think that's going to be like, you know, the Sentry. It was like, oh, that was a cool story. Let's never speak of it again.
Yeah, but didn't they say doesn't the Phoenix play some kind of part in Heroes Reborn?
I mean, I guess possibly.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens when we get to Heroes Reborn. I'm excited for it. Obviously, I love Heroes Reborn.
So I think it starts next month, doesn't it?
Yeah, next month. There's going to be a lot of books next month. Oh, yeah. I think you know, Bounty Hunter War starts next month. Reborn starts next month, and I'm on all the lists for Reborn. So yeah, I'm excited for it. We'll see what happens. You know, I really like the fact that Mephisto's a part of it, so that's cool. You know, Mephisto, you know, and I'm hoping we're going to get like a big arc for Franklin Richards in this, where it's Franklin Richards has to fix it all because he was the start of Heroes Reborn. He was the person who first shattered Mephisto's soul. You know, that this is where he's going to sort of get his powers back and redeem himself.
Oh, what if Mephisto tries to imprison Franklin because he's like, yeah, I know, you know, this kid's basically destroyed me before, and he fixed that last Heroes Reborn. So Franklin, might be
but you know that anytime you try to cut off the threat, you just make it more powerful.
Oh yeah, but I'm just saying temporarily he's gonna, you know, then Franklin's gonna bust out at the end or something.
Yeah. Well, it's the as we, you know, as the old saying goes, yellow beards are never more dangerous than when we're dead. You know, I mean,
or the Phoenix comes to Franklin Richards. Oh my god.
Who knows? No, the Phoenix is an Echo.
It's such a BA.
What?
The Phoenix is an Echo, so Echo's going to be the Phoenix. You know, and it's kind of like I said, it's kind of like with you know, Eddie Brock now being Null. It's like, okay, you know, it's the Poochie ending. I must go back to my home planet now.
I mean, unless they turn that around next month, because again, Venom 200's around the corner, so.
Yeah, but I think they're going to be just putting in Flash Thompson into it. I don't think like I said, I think that's basically how they're going to deal with a character that doesn't necessarily have a good history.
Yeah.
How do you deal with a character with a bad history? Because I think he must have done some awful things. You know,
who, Eddie Brock?
For all of his protecting of the innocents, I'm thinking he did some awful things too.
Back in his first couple appearances, he'd be like, oh, you know, he'd like kill a guard when he's escaping prison, and he'd be like, oh, you know, we hate killing innocents, but anything's worth the cost of killing that infernal Spider-Man.
Yeah, well, yeah, there you go. There's just speed bumps on the road to where I'm going, you know, as Collie Morgenthau would say. You made me say that. You made me show I'm an evil person.
You tricked me.
You tricked me into showing my true colors. That's the problem, you know. And then she just casually threatens, you know, Sam's nephews or niece and nephew, because that's what she's becoming. She is becoming what she most hates.
I would never hurt them. I just wanted you to know I was serious. Well, you went serious. You're about to get serious.
Yeah, you know, that's the thing. It's like she's trying to deny what she's becoming. But again, I think that's the point of the super soldier serum, is it's driving them slowly mad. You know, that the good super soldier serum, that it's not really evenly distributed, that you need a full psychological markup to know, is this stuff going to work? Because it's like Swamp Thing, the movie, you know? It just emphasizes what's already there. And if you're the guy who says, but what if the essence is genius? It's like, well, then you're probably going to come out really stupid.
Well, I think that's one of the points of this series. It's like, yeah, people can replicate the physical effects of the serum easily enough, but it's like, yeah, but it's going to drive the person who takes it mad.
Yeah, because he doesn't want to use the clunky machines. It's like, use the clunky machines. It's not hurting anything. Just add a machine. Nobody else is saying we don't need machines. Real life Carl Malice is saying, no, we need a machine for this. This is stuff we need machines for.
So is that the thing? Did they keep those Vita Rays top secret or something? Because it's like...
No, people know about Vita Rays.
Do they?
I think... Yeah, because I mean, hell, Peggy Carter had a Stark brand Vita Ray detector.
Yeah, but she's dead now. Everyone in that room back in the day is dead now. Well,
actually, if you look at the, and this was a point that was made, if you look at the tanks that Ross uses to use on Blonsky, it says Vita Ray treated. So it was the idea that they were treating the serum with the Vita Rays instead of the person.
Gotta add that serum, then hit them with the Vita Rays.
Just like it says on the box.
Exactly.
Why do they want to? It's like, oh, this is what they did, so maybe we should be reverse engineering that and saying, well, what if we did it in another way that didn't require us to do it that way?
Don't skip your steps, kid. Your cake's going to come out all funky.
Exactly. All right, Philip, anything else you want to talk about tonight?
Nah, I think we're good.
I think we're good. I hope everyone had a good time listening to us tonight. A lot of people, they'll be listening to these podcasts on those cheap dollar store headphones that I always buy. But, I buy them and only one headphone works. But I'm like, well, what do I care? I'm not a fancy man. I just need one headphone. And it'll work for like maybe a week. And I have to like sort of tilt my phone and adjust it. But it works for a week or two and then I'll go buy another one, But by the end of the year, I spent $52 on headphones. That's not a practical way to do it. I really should just use the coupon code Southgate, go to tweakedaudio.com, get a high-quality headphone at a fraction of retail costs.
Yeah.
And, just listen to this stuff in peace and not have to constantly buy those dollar store headphones. Likewise, I can use that same code over at hunterkiller.com and just for funsies, get a very complex logic puzzle that's based around a solving of a cold case. It's a mental game. It's for those of you who are intellectually capable. So many of you may not be up to it, but for those of you who are and can handle a mental stimulation, go to hunterkiller.com, help Michelle Gray solve this cold case. Use the coupon code Southgate upon checkout and save yourself some money. And likewise, if you are the intellectual short, which I'm sure most of our audience is, and you're curious, like, why do people podcast? How do they podcast? What's the point of podcasting? Go down to our show notes, click on the Amazon link, go to Amazon.com and look up Pod Life the book, which is available both in a hard copy for when society falls and we only have printed copies left, and a digital copy which you can use up until the fall of society. And it's a book written by the Southgate Media Group community. And it is why we podcast. It tells our stories. It's available in both digital, paper, and audio coming soon. Likewise, once you're at Amazon, you can buy anything you want. If you use our link, it helps us out and costs you nothing, so that's good. And if anyone does any of that, Phil, and they want to talk to you about it, or even if they just want to talk to you about comic books in general, pop culture, etc., how can they reach you?
If you want to talk about anything to any of us, especially Sharon Carter is the power broker, email us, capesandlunatics@gmail.com, or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And the easiest way to find links to anything, our social medias, anything Charlie said, any of it, is at linktree, linktr.ee/capesandlunatics.
And, of course, if you'd like to write to me in that old-fashioned email way that our mothers and fathers once did, do so at superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. That's superconnectivityblog, all one word, at gmail.com. Of course, follow me on the Twitter as I live tweet whatever I feel like when I do feel like it, at Charlie Esser. That's CharlieEsser. Look for the two E's in the middle. For what?
Quality.
Bing!
Thank you, Maz. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you have come again through another episode of Superconnectivity. I really appreciate you connecting with us. Please come again next week and super connect with us once again. Good night.
Good night. Do the Zemo dance. See, this is why you subscribe to the YouTube. Watch this dance like Zemo.
We're all Zemo now.
Turkish taffy dance.
Turkish delight. It's not a
Turkish
taffy.
delight.
It's more like a gummy.
We don't call them gummies these days.